Hey everyone, welcome to the Orbital Platform. My name is Golden Nova, the Lord Laureate, the explaining episode, and today the custom card curator. How are we all doing? Give it up for day 4, folks. Give it up for day 4. I have been doing this far longer than I ever thought a human being could do this. Honestly, I scare myself sometimes. But here we are nonetheless. Big thank you to Corporatisms for the 19th month of Tier 1 subbing. Send help. You doing okay, buddy? I can send Raviel over. We can do that. I have a dumb question here. If you had to pick any Mister in Yu-Gi-Oh for your name to be the anime attack name, any monster in Yu-Gi-Oh for your name to be the anime attack name, of which monster would you pick? So like the name of the monster is the attack name. If it has to be a monster, I think if I had an attack called Super Quantum Red Layer, that would kick butt. That would slap. If you need a break. No. I have to train for the subathon that I'm definitely going to do. I'm definitely going to do one. I'm going to need one with all the moving stuff happening soon, so I got to train myself. I think they mean, what monster do you think would have Golden Nova as their attack name? Oh, they're like a Drytron one. Obviously, it's a Drytron one. I think Alpha, because that's the one in Drytron Nova, so I think that gets together. Okay, there we go. I would be Eldritch. I would never let that golden jerk use my name for his super cool anime attack name. Would never do that. Just like Chaz the O'Giles will be supporting you. I'm trying out for the live action One Piece. This is my disgusted face. That work out? Think that's gonna pass inspection? Alrighty, well, quick rundown for everyone who does not know. This is the last day. Submissions are closed for custom card reviewing. If you are on the Patreon, then you get to submit your cards. I look at them. We take about 15 minutes to go over the broad strokes. I give them a Nova scale, rating a number of different attributes of that grouping of cards, between how mechanically sound it is, how cool it is, how unique it is, and if you would see it in any other decks that exist. Remember, it's 5 points per category for a total of 20, but you're not trying to get a perfect 20 out of 20. It's more about figuring out the different attributes of how this deck stacks up in those different attributes, but not card attributes, because that's a whole different mechanic. I'm gonna make a card called Golden Nova that just makes Red Layer into a god card. Alright. So, without further ado, Moby has now arrived, so we have to take the requisite 3 or 4 minutes to pet this little guy. Moby, if you're going to interrupt stream, you might as well be, like, on camera so everyone can see how glorious you are. Come on. I get to see him. It's more about tying my immense 19... Don't press the power button. Don't do it. Don't you do it, buddy. Don't walk past this way again. You're gonna press the button again. I don't know about this, kid. I don't know about it. Do what I bet you. Time minimum and maximum points. Buddy, ow. He's in playful mode right now. He knows that I'm working, so now he's playful. Alright, well. 1 second. There he is. Moby detected. No, he's walking. He's running. He's on the loose, folks. All points bulletin out for a little guy. Yeah, that's right. He's a little meower. He's a little meowser. That's what you are. Okay. Look, creature. I just gotta let him out. Oh, we just started, so you're good. my first time catching a stream, and I have to say, love the lore vids and just the energy that you put in the thing. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm glad you could show up, Card Man. Little guy activity. Absolute scrungler behavior. What is going on with my computer? What is happening? What's loading? Okay, that was weird. Okay. Another on-time notification of Nova stream instead of getting it near the end. There we go. I just tuned in and initially thought Nova was shirtless and expressing nudity. We haven't gotten to that donation level yet. Folks, step it up. Come on. We're not going to get to the hot tub stream at this rate, people. Get with it. Alright. Music. Be gone. You're banished. Music. We do not need you anymore. What we need is sweet, delicious, customizable cards. And that is what Blitzwolf is here to provide. Let's go ahead and head over to the special guest comms and await Blitz's arrival. Little gray gremlin. I believe your current donation goal is the secret video release. No, I've given up on donation incentives right now. Once we do like a subathon thing, we'll get all that stuff reorganized. Anyway, enough about me. Blitzwolf, how you doing today?
I'm still stuck in the pendulum dimension.
Well, why are you stuck in there?
Well, I don't know. I got shot by Zark, and I guess defeating him doesn't help. Also, I dealt with that weird mafia gang with no mouths. Still questioning how they talk.
That sounds very horrifying. Were they part of the Eldritch gang by chance?
No, I think that they were called the Barians? Bryans? I can't remember.
Oh, the
I'm
Baruvians.
The no mouth.
I have no mouth and I must duel. Was a
Yes,
really good
yes.
episode.
It was.
Alrighty, so, Blitz, I see that you have once again sent us a variety of cards from a number of different archetypes. Any intros or introductions you want to tell the audience about before we get started on these?
I'm making like a little deck box of certain combinations of cards, but for the past 2 months, I've been doing like boss support for Fire Fist. I like Fire Fist. I like them in Duel Links and all that.
They're pretty cool.
So I decided, yeah, especially they're good with Jesse when he has a skill that go by 100 attack point for each continuous spell card on the field.
Hey, that sounds familiar.
Yes. And it's not once per turn.
Wait, the skill isn't once per turn?
Wait, no, the skill is not once per duel.
Okay, I was about to go like, okay, what the heck?
Yes.
Alright, well, done enough preamble, 15 minutes on the clock. Let's get started with Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Yellow Dragon, a rank 5 Fire Beast Warrior Xyz monster with 2800 attack and 2300 defense, requiring any 2 level 5 Beast Warrior monsters as material. If this card is special summoned, all monsters your opponent controls lose attack equal to 100 times the number of Fire Fist cards on your field and in the graveyard, or Fire Formation cards on your field and in the graveyard. During the battle phase, as a quick effect, you can send a face-up Fire Formation spell or trap card you control to the grave, then target a spell or trap card your opponent controls and negate its effects. Okay. If this monster has an Xyz monster as material, it gains this effect. All Beast Warrior monsters you control gain 300 attack, and you can only use each effect of this card once per turn. Now I'm going to assume that that has something to do with Fire Formation Koi, our little continuous spell here. When
Yes.
this card is activated, you can... Oh, go ahead.
I'll go over what these two pair are representing.
Alright, when this card is activated, you can special summon a Beast Warrior Xyz monster from your extra deck by using one Fire Fist Xyz monster you control as material, but is 1 rank higher. Oh, so this can make any rank 5 Beast Warrior on top of your... I guess there are rank 3 Fire Fist monsters, but just... It gets into the general Beast Warrior pool.
Yeah.
If this face-up card is sent from the spell and trap zone to the graveyard, target a Fire Fist monster in your graveyard and shuffle it into the deck. And if you do, add a Fire Fist monster with a different name than the shuffled monster from your deck to your hand. You can only activate one of the copy of this card per turn.
So, strange enough, Fire Fists have, like, 3 level 5s. And, ironically, they don't have any XCs. So I thought, let's give them one and make it rank up.
Makes sense. I mean, they're starting to make fire formations for all the other summoning mechanics. Why not this one?
Yeah, and also, I just decided for the Koi to make it similar to the Fusion Ritual card, where the play is when you battle with Yellow Dragon, pop Koi, and then its effect goes off.
Yeah, so you just get a little free search on top of everything else.
Yes.
All right, that's pretty cool.
And I gotta thank Blitz for this next card.
And by that we mean the captain variety.
Yep. He let me borrow his May format.
Alrighty, the next card is Predaplant Clearwing Corruption Dragon. That's a mouthful. Level 9 Dark Dragon Synchro Monster requiring a Predaplant Tuner and one or more wind monsters. The flavor is dripping from this. Oh my god. This card must be synchro summoned or special summoned from the extra deck by discarding a spell card with an effect that fusion summons a monster while you control a Predaplant Fusion and a Winged Dragon monster. This is treated as a fusion summon. If this card is summoned this way, treat it as a fusion monster while face up on the field. Oh my gosh. Wait, does it send the monsters to the graveyard?
Yes.
Discarding with the effect of monster while control. It doesn't say it does.
Oh, dang it. It's supposed to.
That's amazing.
It's meant to be like his starving wing dragon, I think.
Got it.
But considering he did that before me, I was like, I'll do prep plants instead.
Makes sense. All right. This card is also treated as a wind attribute monster. When this card is summoned, place predator counters on all cards on the field. Thrice per turn, as a quick effect, you can remove one predator counter from anywhere on the field, and you can negate a card effect. When this monster is destroyed by a battle or card effect, activate the following effects based on how this card is treated on the field. If it was a synchro monster, negate all card effects on cards that have predator counters on them, and if you do, they cannot be used as material for a ritual, fusion, synchro, exceed, or link summon. They also cannot be used for a tribute summon. And if it was a fusion, banish all cards on the field with predator counters face down, then each player discards cards from their hand up to the number of cards they banished. Woof!
Yes. It's essentially like, okay, you beat my boss monster, now you get punished for each counter I put on you through this card.
So how about you deal with that?
Yeah, and because of the fact that it puts counters on also your cards, you're removing your counters on your side of the field first. That way your opponent only has to take the backlash.
Alrighty. Next up is, this will be, Dinoroid?
Yes.
Okay. Dinoroid, level 4, Earth Dinosaur Monster with 2200 attack and 500 defense. Once per turn, you can fusion summon a Roid Fusion monster by sending at least one fusion material from your field, hand, and deck, except Dinoroid. When you fusion summon using this card as material, you can substitute this card for any one named material required for the fusion summon. Oh, wow, this card is incredible.
Yes.
What?
It's
okay.
Essentially...
But it is only for Roid monsters. Okay. For a second there, I was like, wait a sec, this cannot be generic. And it wasn't.
No. I mean, Roids are a good archetype, but terrible. They face the problem of the anime archetype.
Mm-hmm. So it's good to see that at least Dinoroid is helping to increase their ceiling so they can get to their silly cards at least at parity.
Yeah, I mean, you could go into the Super Vehicroids easier. Except I think it's Barbaroid and maybe that big 5,000 defense one.
Yeah, I think Barbaroid might be a bit out of reach. I think you can get the Super Defense City one. Well, I don't know off the top of my head. I couldn't say.
Yeah, it's either 4 or 5 materials. I can't remember.
And you can search it out with Fossil Dig, which is very funny.
True.
Chat's saying, aren't roids normally machines? I know a lot of them are, but didn't they come out with one that was like a dragon one recently that was a dragon?
Yeah, it was meant to be like, so that way you could splash in Cyber Darks. So this is just, okay. Hasselberry gave this to Cyrus.
There you go.
Dino DNA.
It's the card of my soul. Don't lose it anywhere, or spend it on golden egg witches. That would be very silly of you. Alright, next is Googly Eyes Galaxy Dragon. A rank 8 light dragon Xyz monster with 3000 attack and 2500 defense, requiring any 2 level 8 monsters as material. This card is always treated as a Galaxy Eyes monster. If this card is Xyz summoned, add a Galaxy Spell or Trap card from your deck to your hand. And once per turn, if this card has a Galaxy Eyes monster as material, you can banish a monster your opponent controls. And if you do, this monster gains attack equal to the banished monster's level or rank times 200, or link rating times 500. If this card is destroyed, banish a Galaxy, Photon, or Cypher monster from your grave, special summon this card from your grave, then you can attach 2 Galaxy, Photon, or Cypher monsters from your grave to this card as Xyz material. Wow, that is powerful.
It is, and I still find it funny that when Googly Eyes Drum Dragon was summoned in the anime, they had the silhouette at first being Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon.
Because we all knew. Alrighty, yeah, I'm not up to date on Galaxy Eyes. I haven't explained them yet, so I'm a little out of touch. But to my understanding, some of their spells and traps are wild, so having a monster that goes into that, and then you can either use this as a monster for its floating effect, or, like, rank it up into other galaxies, it seems pretty good.
Yep.
Alright, next up is Wind Up Ice Beast 0, a rank 4 water winged beast Xyz monster with 2200 attack and 2500 defense, requiring any 2 level 4 monsters, including a water monster. Once per turn, you can detach an Xyz material from this card, change all cards you control other than this card to face down defense position, and negate the effects of all cards your opponent controls. Then this card gains 400 attack for each card negated by this effect. So I guess Rio, right? Rio needs a little extra help?
Rio and Bronk, because wink wink, nudge nudge.
Yeah, if anyone was gonna have wind-ups, and I guess they did it. What game did they give him?
Duel Links.
Okay, they actually gave him Duel Links. I remember this trivia now.
Yes.
The neurons in my brain are unlocking. Alrighty, next up we've got some TG cards, just in time.
Okay, I will mention this. I do find it funny that when they revealed all the new TG stuff, I was like, wait, I did this like 2 months ago. A new level 12 Delta XL that negates special summons, and a continuous spell that turns all your monsters into machine. I called it and showed it on your stream, so were they watching?
Were they watching? Was it Apollo hitting you in the face with the gift of prophecy? Who can tell? We can, by raiding Konami's headquarters. Konami, this is legally a joke. I don't mean that. If that happens in the future, it wasn't me.
Yes, so these 4 cards are meant to go with that Power Tool Tech Genius I made, because Tech Genius don't have equip spells, so I made them equip spells.
Alright, and I believe these ones... No, these ones you can't search with the new ones, because that one actually is T.G. whereas these are just TGs.
Oh, no, there could be a dot. I was just not typing the dot.
Oh, okay. Alright, first up is TGESS Energy Shield Spear. Equip spell can only be equipped to a TG monster. These can only be equipped to TG monsters.
Yeah, it's essentially the Power Tool Dragon equivalent of Double Tool C&D. Just give them a generic effect, stack them all onto the Power Tool Dragon.
Just give them a little something.
Yes.
Energy Shield Spear, equipped monster can't be destroyed by spell or trap card effects. Dagger Crossbow, the equipped monster can attack directly. Or should I say, TGDCB Dagger Crossbow, the equipped monster can attack directly. TGDSG Drill Spear Gun, that allows the equipped monster to deal piercing battle damage. And TGPGA, not Pro Golf Association, this is Power Generator Amplifier. And the equipped monster gains 100 attack times the number of different TG monsters in the graveyard. Okay, so yeah, those are nice little utility pieces.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot that. Again, I made the Power Tool Dragon to be like, okay, it's a new ranked level 12 TG monster, and also its name stamped Power Tool Dragon. Konami, why did you mess that up?
Come on, designers, get with it. Get with the times.
Yeah, I mean, Power Tool Braver Dragon? Okay. I can't equip Power Tool C and D to it.
I'm still mad about that. I'm still upset. What are they thinking? All right, well, that is our whole shebang. Do you have any other interactions that you want to highlight for the audience, or is it time for a big old Nova scale?
No, not really. I essentially just made, like I said, cross and all that stuff.
Alrighty. And since we have a bunch of different like kinds of cards, is there anyone in particular that you want me to focus the Nova scale on, or do you just want like a big broad general number for that?
The first two for a separate one, and then the middle four for their own. The Tech Genius you don't have to do.
Oh, I'm only doing one because I've changed how the system works on this one. So which of those do you want me to do the Nova scale for?
The first 6.
The first two of them are Fire Fist cards, so those would go together, and the rest of these are like all different ones. So just like a big general Nova scale.
Yes.
All right, cool. So, novelty. As per usual, these are based on existing cards. But I do like the direction that we've taken it with this one. It seems like off the top of our heads, we wouldn't think that Fire Fists would get a formation to allow for Xyz summons, because the ones they did are for the things that traditionally use spell cards to get those summons, fusions, and rituals. But I like the interesting twist of using it as a rank up spell. I think that's pretty cool. And I also like what we're doing with a Googly Eyes Galaxy Dragon. I'm glad we're seeing more Googly Eyes. So I think we're going to get a 3 on novelty on these ones. A lot of cool creativity going on here.
Nice.
Objectivity. Are these cards lined up with problem-solving card text, and are they in line with the current power level of things? I noticed that we had a few things when it came to problem-solving card text. As for power level, I think Yellow Dragon and Koi are fine. I think that the way Clearwing Corruption Dragon is printed is super powerful. You still have to jump through the hoops of getting a Predaplant Fusion and a Wind Dragon monster on board at the same time. But just pitching a fusion spell effect. Which isn't that hard,
considering that Predaplants do have a tuner, but it's a tuner.
Oh yeah, or you could just make it the regular way. And it has just some bonkers effects when it hits a board. Oh my gosh. I think we can pretty fittingly give these a they're good. I just don't know if they're like busted good. I think we can pretty easily give this a 4 on objectivity. Versatility, will DC play in multiple archetypes? I think this gets a 2 because the ones that they see, we have a variety of different cards here. Very few of them will be played outside their own theme, but because we have things like, Fire Formation, big Beast Warrior pool to work with, and you could technically rank up the Lion Emperor into any Zodiac, which I think is very funny. Dino Roid works with any Roid deck. I don't know why I said that. There's only a single Roid deck that would use fusions.
Yeah, you could tack in fusions to the Speedroids.
I guess you're right technically on that one. But yeah, there's a bunch of different cards here. They're usually limited to their own archetype, but because there's a lot of them, we'll just give it a 2. And awesomeness, yeah, I think these are just some really solid ideas. I know I make a joke of it sometimes about how easy of a mark I am, but legitimately, I think Yellow Dragon / Fire Formation Koi is a really clean piece of design, and I think that Wind Up Ice Beast 0 is just another really cool way to help reset our Wind Up effects, which I think is pretty snazzy. So we're going to get a 14 on the Nova scale this time around, a big ol' 14.
Ooh, I forgot to mention a fun fact about Yellow Dragon. Remember those pendulums I did last year?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, last month?
I believe so.
The Yellow Dragon is meant to be for the direct Cardinal Beast. It's the center one.
Yeah. Oh, so that's what this is representing?
Yes, it's the center beast of the Cardinal Directions.
Neato. All right, well, hey, thank you so much for sharing. Anything else you want to share with the audience before we move on to our next speaker?
First off, check your messages.
Alrighty, what am I looking at here? Uh-oh. Is this what's going to be
Yes,
next month?
it's gonna be next month. The last one, it's essentially taking the same direction that the Monarchs seem to be taking.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Alright, well, I'm looking forward to that.
Another message. To anyone from Duel Academy, please be on the lookout for a guy in white preaching about some sort of light of eradication, I think. People have been getting brainwashed.
Hey,
Seems to be some sort of cult, and we
hey.
are very curious on how this is all happening, so please stay away, lock your doors, all that.
Okay, I'm definitely getting Blitz out of here. Look, I know that Sartorius Kumar looks strange, and they're doing maniacal evil laughs all the time, and maybe there are a bit too many people saying that they're following the light. But that's freedom of speech, baby. That's a community. He can say whatever he wants.
I mean, maybe, but when people go missing,
Those are some big allegations that haven't been proven yet.
okay, well,
All
I
right.
better get going. I gotta go deal with that paperwork then.
All right, take care. Have yourself a good one.
Okay, bye.
All right. Grand. But Elemental Hero Necroid Shaman. All right, okay. All right. Hee-haw. He and haw, I say. All right, next up is Rebel King Lucifer. And they are on these cards. And this is still... Okay, that's still formatted correctly. Oh, that's been reset over there. And Rebel King, I believe I'm ready whenever you are. For now, I'm just going to double check chat here. Of course, Nova lights him. A supernova is just a big ball of light. Well, not just. There's gas and gravity and a high output of energy. There's a lot of differences between me and Sartorius, and I don't like that connection being thrown around here. Bone King. But thank you very much for stopping by, Bone King. Hey, Rebel King, Lucifer, you've caught me in a compromising situation talking to Bone King. How you doing?
Man. Well, I'm doing just fine. Let me tell you something. You know what? Our last guest may not have received the power of prophecy, but I sure did. I received a vision from on high.
Oh,
I gained information on the first reveals for Phantom Nightmare before Konami even had a chance to do it. So
you literally
I'm
pulled the
bringing
set name
it
from the
today.
ether. Jeez. I'm just now noticing that. Holy cow! Good job.
Yeah. Well. So yeah, this is again, that's why I call this wave 2 of the Soul Hackers. This is just another chunk of the Soul Hackers.
Hell yeah.
Um,
I'm also spying a little music in the background that sounds a little SMT-ish.
Oh, I didn't realize that was coming through. Now that's just background music that I have because I use it for GX. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I swear I'm like, this is some kind of Temple of Gaia stuff going on in the background, but I was mistaken, so, That's on me.
Well.
So, any preamble that you want to let the audience know about for these cards before we move on to talking about them?
Other than, this is kind of more elaboration on what I was talking about last time, where, the archetype's kind of built in such a way that you can kind of just pluck a little group of cards out and build around that, because it kind of just makes, a little mini engine, mini theme, what have you. So this is one of those things. Last time we had the Hindu mythology engine. Now we have the four Guardian Beasts engine.
Oh, they're so auspicious. Alrighty. Well, the first one on our list is Zhuanwu, Soul Hacker's Avatar, a level 4 Water Fiend effect monster with 400 attack and 1900 defense. If this card is flipped face up, this card cannot be destroyed by a battle while it's phase upon the field. If this card is summoned, you can target a set card in your opponent's spell and trap zone, and while this card is phase up on the field, that set card cannot be activated until the end phase, and your opponent must activate it during the end phase or else send it to the graveyard. Ooh, we need more of these Trickstar light stage effects.
Yes, truly. I think
Alrighty.
it's very funky and funny, so I used it.
Good. I'm glad to see it. Alrighty, next up is Baihu, Soul Hackers Holy, a level 4 Earth Fiend monster with 1800 attack and 1200 defense. If this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Fiend from your hand in defense position, and all Fiend monsters you control gain 100 attack and defense times its own level, rank, or link rating. Okay. That's a nifty little extender / booster. I dig. Alright, next is that Zhu Kuei?
Yes.
Alright. Zhu Kuei, Soul Hackers Avian, a level 4 Fire Fiend monster with 1700 attack and 1000 defense. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can target up to 2 Fiend Link monsters in your graveyard. Return them to the extra deck. When this card you control is destroyed by a battle with an opponent's attacking monster and sent to your grave, you can reveal a Soul Hackers Link in your extra deck and special summon a monster mentioned on it from your deck in attack position. Ooh, that's good. Bit of recycling, bit of summoning.
Yeah, and that second effect plays into the general mechanic of certain Link bosses, as we saw last time, if you recall. But yeah, that'll let you just easily fetch a main deck material you might need, and go ham.
Yeah, would definitely really be helpful in the what was it? We used Shiva in that line last time, or was it a different god?
That was Shiva.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so if you revealed Shiva with this effect, yeah, you could grab Ranga or Barong.
Sick.
You'd be set.
Alrighty, after that we have Qinglong, Soul Hackers Dragon, a level 4 Wind Fiend monster with 1700 attack and 1000 defense. If this card is summoned, you can reveal a Soul Hackers Link monster in your extra deck to add 1 monster mentioned on it from your deck to your hand, and if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target a Fiend monster, accept a copy of this card, or a Soul Software spell or trap card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Oh, that's way more proactive. I'm loving this one.
Yeah. Alright, well, now we get into the funky one.
Alright, Huanglong, Soul Hackers Dragon, Light Fiend Link Monster, 2900 attack, Link 4 with the north, east, south, and west arrows, very thematic, requiring 3 or more Fiend monsters as material. If this card is Link summoned, you can apply these effects in sequence based on the material used. If you use Zhuanwu or Zhu Kuei, special summon a Fiend monster from your deck. If you use Baihu or Qinglong, return a monster on the field to the hand, and if you do, all other Fiend monsters you control gain 300 attack and defense. And once per turn, you can target a Soul Hackers monster in your graveyard, accept a copy of this card, with an effect that activates when summoned, and apply that monster's effect, then shuffle it into the deck. Oh wow, yeah, that is a lot of stuff going on with this guy.
Yes. So this is So the reason this is funky is because, to my knowledge, there's no card in existence that basically says, "Hey, just apply an on-summon effect." So, the wording this is very touch and go.
It's very new. The new Constellar Xyz monster, I think it's Satellar Knight Constellar Caduceus, does do that. But you were pretty close on this one.
I actually don't remember how that thing is worded. I'll have to go back and check that then.
Yeah. But it's a design space that, like I said, hasn't been used until recently, and we need more of it because it's cool.
Yeah. So, and this is kind of to get into something else. This is also why the 4 beasts are also deceptively straightforward. They all just kind of have an effect that goes off when they're summoned, and then they have something else. The main idea, obviously, is you can recycle those on summon effects with Huanglong, but you can also just do whatever funny shenanigans you can think of.
Yeah, it makes sense.
A fiend that has an effect.
And because it's fiends, lots of different archetypes that you could splash in to help make it, just in case.
Yeah.
You literally just make Phoenix, and then it'd be like, okay, we've got 2 other people in here. Boom. We're clear. Alrighty. Next up we have... I believe that was all of the... okay, that's all the other main ones, but I think we still have a little bit of time, so we can talk about a few more of these.
Yeah, I got 5 more after this one, so just yeah.
All right, then I'm going to speed run these things really quickly before Captain Blitz calls time. Once again, thank you, Blitz, for keeping me faithful on that. First up, we have Kurama Tengu, Soul Hackers Genma, level 3, Wind, Fiend Monster, 1500 attack, 1000 defense. If a Soul Hackers monster is sent to your graveyard as link material or is banished, accept a copy of this card, and except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. During the end phase, if this card was sent to the graveyard this turn, you can set a Soul Software spell or trap directly from your deck to your field. We can only use one effect per turn, only once per turn. Okay, so we can't get too wild with that one.
Nope.
But still pretty good. Great extender, great searcher.
Yeah. I made double sure to make sure that one wasn't too crazy.
All right, Soul Software, Mr. Surprise, normal spell card. Target a fiend monster with a level in your graveyard. Special summon it to your zone a link monster points to. Or if you control a Soul Hackers monster, you can special summon a fiend link monster instead. Then inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's level or link rating times 200. Okay, yeah, sick, nasty. Soul Software Copernicus, continuous spell card. You can banish any number of fiend monsters from your grave to special summon a Soul Hackers Link monster from your extra deck with a link rating equal to the number banished. Also, you cannot use monsters as link material for the rest of the turn except fiend monsters. When this card leaves the field, send all monsters summoned by this effect to the graveyard. Ooh, okay, alright. Little Tri-Brigade energy going on here. I'm liking it. I'm digging. Soul Software Friday, continuous spell card. Your opponent must pay 500 life points to activate cards or effects in response to the effect activations of your Soul Hackers Link monsters. If you link summon a Soul Hackers Link monster, you can target a monster in your graveyard, use it as a material, special summon in defense position. Okay. That's kind of new. We have things that are like taxing effects, and we have had things that activate only in response to your archetype's effects, but taxing your opponent to respond to it, I think, is new, so that's pretty interesting. And then there is Soul Software Judgmental Eyes, counter trap card. If you control a Link 3 or higher Fiend Link monster, you can activate this effect from your activate this card from your hand. If your opponent negates the normal or special summon of a Soul Hackers monster or the activation of a card or effect, destroy all cards your opponent controls and shuffle up to 2 random cards in their hand into the deck. That's menacing.
So I have a very simple explanation for this one. Witch's Strike is really good, and it's a damn shame that it's not as not more widely used than it is.
Makes sense. If only you could use it at all. This solves it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Corbinism's asking, what Link 3 fiends do we even have? Not in this one, but, it was either the last submission or the submission before last was the other Soul Hacker cards, and we had a Link 3 in there, at least, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, so there, yeah. So Shiva was a Link 3 in there. I'm trying to think. My brain is not working. Unchained has one.
Oh, yeah.
If you feel like randomly splashing an Unchained.
Red Dog.
Yes, Red Dog. I am racking my brain trying to think of something else, but nothing's coming. So.
I know, it's all good.
I think.
But yeah, these are pretty great. I love them. Are there any interactions that we haven't covered yet, or like any interesting synergies that we haven't talked about yet?
Let's see. Nothing that goes to mind. I get. Let me see. Yeah, no. I mean, for the most part, anything I could add would basically just be in archetype synergies go burr, but that's not very exciting. So.
Alrighty, well then I'll go ahead and crack open this Nova Scale, if you don't mind. Alright, so, novelty. So we have a series of fiend monsters that we use to make a big Link boss monster. We have a bunch of really cool effects that, like you were saying, focus on simplicity, but gain additional value when you... Oh, wait, I think your audio's getting a little funky there.
What's up?
I was getting a little like just like this long static thing. It wasn't like loud, but it was like this kind of stuff. But it seems fine now.
Yeah.
Okay, so bunch of fiends, link spammy stuff. Have seen that before, but like we were saying, Huang Long does the mimicking there on summon effects, which, while it isn't totally unique, is only like the second example I've ever seen between the actual card game and this. So for novelty's sake, I think I can give this a 4. Really cool line to go up into. Objectivity. Because the power level of the individual cards is pretty simple, I don't think they're too outlandish, and I think the problem-solving card text is really good here. The counter trap activating to the last thing that happened on the board and not necessarily to a card effect, a card or effect, is strange, but technically nothing in the rules says that a counter trap has to chain to a card or effect. I think there's like one that like ends a phase or something, and that doesn't. So that's pretty. It threw me for a loop, but it's solid. So I think objectivity on this one is a 5. I think these are very, very well constructed. Versatility. Do these see play in other decks? A lot of these cards just work with Fiends, and not only is Fiend just one of the best supported types in the game, when it comes to Link monsters, Fiends surprisingly have some really good cards in that category. So I think versatility, I could see this being like a 4. Especially if people started running like Kurama Tengu as like an extender for stuff like that. And yeah, 5 on awesomeness. I love SMT. I'm not a Soul Hackers person yet. I hope to fix that one day. But familiar names, familiar faces, and some cool effects make for a great theming. So I'm going to give this an 18 on the Nova scale. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Oh, well, one more thing. You scroll down to the bottom.
Oh.
A little, surprise for...
Stay tuned for next month's reveals. Introducing the revival of a classic deck in Phantom Nightmare. Interesting.
And I will refuse to elaborate, and now I shall leave.
No! The tension! The cliffhanger! You can't do this to me, Lucifer. Think of the writer's strike. You won't be able to complete this for months.
Just watch me.
All right. Well, thank you again. Super appreciate your support and for sharing these awesome cards. And I'll catch you next time. All right.
Yeah, you have a good time.
All right. Take care. Those are pretty slick. Surprised Copernicus immediately put limited or banned. I don't know. Copernicus, I think, is actually pretty balanced. Because you're only making Soul Hackers links, which are pretty alright. They're okay. It just uses Fiends as materials, and then you can only use Fiends as material for other stuff. So I think Copernicus is actually pretty good. Unless there's something I'm missing from like last time around. Alrighty. Muckraker's Nightmare Unchained came to my mind immediately for like, oh yeah, Muckraker is super good. Super good. Anyone else think that Persona 3 can make an interesting art set? Oh, for sure. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and update our little listicle here. Next up, this one I know I have to adjust the aspect ratio for, so let me go ahead and get this fixed up here really quickly. Let's go ahead and wait. There we go. Aspect ratio adjustment. Hey, you know me. I'm always be adjusting those ratios. I figured, like, I could do this on the fly more often. I don't have to have, like, a one-size-fits-all solution for this kind of stuff. I can just change the size in the middle of the stream and no one can stop me. And then people can actually read this text clear. Wild, right? Alrighty, so we've got this one pulled up here. Our next guest is going to be Quilava Fireblast. Frankie, how you doing today?
Hello? Can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay, awesome.
All right, so you told me on Discord that you had all this art for these commissioned. Did I remember that correctly?
Yes, sir. I believe I also have to send you that Instagram link. Give me a quick second.
I'm floored. That's amazing. Holy cow. Boop. Alrighty, this is from, it looks like Raider Random.
Yep. You can pretty much message her whenever. She just graduated from college, so always looking for work.
Oh, yes. Ain't that a situation to be in?
Yeah, and she's really easy to talk to. She doesn't really understand Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, but she literally went out of her way to go look up, like, well, for instance, Kaboom, you see that artwork, and other stuff. She just looked at the anime, the physical cards, and she's like, I can figure something out. And ba-boom.
Well, if this is supposed to be a Mirror Force card, it looks like they understood the assignment.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So I'm hoping I can make this a regular thing, but art commissions take a while because, of course, they do. So
Oh,
I'm hoping
yeah.
I'll come back with more stuff later on the line. But until then, my main goal for this was, so Blitz and I work on his cards together. I just try to touch him up for him as best as I can, and it's like, you know what, I can do this. So check this out.
And for the audience, this is Blitz Wolf, we mean.
Yeah, Blitz Wolf.
Okay. Yeah, someone in chat was like, we have too many blitzes around here, and I'm like, I can't argue with it. But to be fair, blitz is a sweet word.
Mm-hmm. So, my dear fine golden eldritch abomination with strange plot, who made me cry at Albaz's lore.
Who told you that?
Take it away.
Who told you that was You take that back.
I will not.
Oh, okay, that's fair. All right, first up is Heavenly Mirror Force, a normal trap card. If your opponent declares an attack, banish all monsters your opponent controls face down. Your opponent cannot respond to this card's activation or effects with monster effects. If this card in your possession is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. You can only use each effect of Heavenly Mirror Force once per turn. All right, so
Mirror Force. Drowning and Storm Mirror Force are barely better. You can negate them. That's the sucky part. Battle traps are so garbage nowadays. So I was like, okay, you want to try to negate this with Baron? Good luck with that. Bye.
yeah, and this, like even outside of the fact that it doesn't allow monsters to interact with this, it also doesn't care if the monsters are in attack position. And, yeah, banishing them face down, a pretty great way to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Now,
and, hey, you got to add your twin twisters? Okay, bye.
I'm cool. Goo. Now, when you went to Raider about this, when you gave them information about, like, the card, did you tell them to, like, do the heart versus the feather thing from Egyptian mythology, or did they just do that on their own?
A little bit of both. I was like, hey, do you think you can do something to, like, signify as, like, I don't care who you are, you're going down. And she's like, I got this. Because she did watch the original Yu-Gi-Oh! A little bit when she was younger.
Uh-huh.
But she's like, I'm just going to put this here because I think it looks cool.
It's literally perfect. Like, this feels like this could have come out of the anime.
Mm-hmm.
This is a shoddy card. Like, if he ever dueled, that's this guy's card.
That was the point. Thank you for noticing.
Oh, well, yeah, you did a good job of allowing that to seep through the design. All right,
now,
next.
Speaking of insanity, get ready for this one.
Oh, good. Mirror Force continues with Mirror Force Soldier. A level 3 light warrior tuner monster with 0 attack and 1800 defense. If your opponent declares an attack as a quick effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, banish all monsters your opponent controls face down, and if you banish at least 2 monsters this way, draw 2 cards. This card's effects and activation cannot be negated.
I realized my original design, it could be ashed, so I just threw that at the end there. So it's like, It's like it's basically Ghost Ogre on crack. It's like, oh, you want to do or for Mirror Force and Ghost Ogre on crack. So it's like you can go anywhere from like what +4 if your opponent fills up on a huge ass board.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like again, like I said, battle traps are garbage. Give me good battle trap.
Well,
And besides, it's a tuner, so reinforcements in the army. It's a light monster. It has the Ghost Sister stats. And if you have to put it on the field, then there you go.
there you go. This card, I'm running this card. I'm talking to Joel McHale after this stream. I'm getting this printed for me specifically.
I was like, okay, you can limit this card. Reinforcements in the army, baby.
It's all mine. Yum, 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 yum.
And it's a tuner, of course. Level 3.
All right. Next up is Kaboom Unit.
This is literally just for my one friend, and also I'm a huge fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal now, so yeah.
Hell yeah. And what better way to show love for Zexal than playing the biggest Xyz monsters on the market? Level 10 effect, Earth Machine Monster, 2900 attack, 3000 defense. If you control a level 4 or level 10 Earth Machine Monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is detached from an Xyz monster to activate its effects, you can add a level 10 Earth Machine Monster from your deck to your hand, except a copy of this card. Then if you inflict at least 2,000 effect damage to your opponent by activating the effect of an Xyz monster, you can attach one level 10 Earth Machine from your hand to an Xyz monster you control, and immediately after this effect resolves, Xyz summon a rank 11 or higher Earth Machine monster by using a rank 10 Earth Machine Xyz monster you control, transferring its materials. Good grief. So, if I understand this correctly, you make this with Gust, or you use it to make Gustav.
Mm-hmm.
Detach.
Gustav, detach Kaboom unit, and then add Derek Crane or Super Express Bullet Train. Attach the Derek Crane or Express Bullet Train. Make Leave. Detach Leave. Destroy anything else with Derek Crane's effect, and then smash it into your opponent with a 6k attack monster. And then you still have Zeus if they somehow survive with 3 or 4 material.
Whoa, wow. Okay. Holy.
I literally made this because my friend and I have been killed so many times by people ashing urgent schedules. I'm like, okay, let me just normal summon heckin' Ruffian Railcar, bring out Bullet Train, and then bring out Kaboom Unit. You're not stopping this now.
Amazing. I love it.
The art. Just imagine this and Derek Crane just standing on top of each other for a Gustav.
This cannon is going to explode in 5 minutes.
Yep.
All right. Our last card. Dark Bondroid. Level 8 Dark Effect Fusion Monster. Machine. 3000 attack, 2500 defense. Requiring a Dark Magician Girl. Or level 5 or higher Dark Monster. And a Roid or Cyber Dark Monster. Or either one Dark, one Light, or Earth Machine Monster. You can only control one Dark Bondroid. If this card is fusion summoned, you can special summon a Cyber Dark or Roid monster from your deck, extra deck, or hand in defense position, ignoring summoning requirements, but it has its effects negated, and it's also banished during the end phase. If Dark Magician Girl is used as fusion material to summon this card, this monster gains the following effects. Gains 2000 attack, cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects, and can make up to 2 attacks during your battle phase. If this card leaves the field, you can add a Power Bond or Overload Fusion or any spell that mentions a Cyber Dark monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Dark Bondroid once per turn. Okay, this is fire. I love this.
Imagine Mirror Jade but as a machine. That's kind of what I was aiming for. It has Mirror Jade stats. It has double attacking force of some of the Roids, because again, Roids suck. And then you can either make this admittedly gigantic, powerful waifu and crash in your opponent a gajillion times, or you can just go into the main game plan. And this thing doesn't care how it leaves the field. You can kaiju it if it's destroyed. It's as long as it leaves the field. Period. Assuming face down banishing is not a factor.
Yeah, Fenrir.
Fenrir.
Jerk. You know, all of you might be tired of seeing Mirror Jade. At least we banish face up, okay?
Yeah,
just saying. Incredible. Very, very powerful. Outrageously so. I I love this art. Okay, this is great. Holy cow.
Yeah, no. When my friend described it, I believe that's supposed to be dark burning attack, but it's glitching out. I was like, my friend is a genius. She's a genius.
So, like, there's all the little attention to detail, right? Like, yeah, the glitching background, the hearts, which are a very Dark Magician Girl thing, but they're in, like, the 8-bit style. This is great. This is great.
Yeah. And again, Cyrus, Dark Magician Girl. OTP.
The only pairing that we will get out of GX, and I will hear no arguments.
Exactly. You're a man of culture.
Thank you. I do my best. As a fellow Truesdale, I have to look after my flock.
Yep.
All right. So, these are all pretty funky. Are there any interactions or anything that you wanted to highlight before we move on to the Nova scale?
10,000 double attacking Dark Mountain Road with limited remover.
Let's go!
XC's shenanigans. And again, battle traps suck. Give me better ones. And hand traps are awesome.
Okay.
That's about it.
Let's put some numbers to this. So novelty. So what are the things we have based off here? We have 2 cards based on mirror forces.
Mm-hmm.
One on big trains and one on Dark Magician Roids. Now, these are all, once again, based off cards we've seen before. But we're being a little, just a smidge creative with some of these. And by a smidge, I mean a lot. I think I've got to give these at least a 3 on these ones. These are pretty wild. Okay, objectivity. Now, I'm going to give the score here because of how powerful these cards are. They are getting a 1.
Yeah, there it is.
Look, I was on board for a lot of these, but when Mirror Force Soldier was a hand trap Mirror Force that banished face down, could not be responded to, couldn't be responded to, and didn't even care if the monsters were in attack position or not one, this sees play in every deck. No shot. 100%. In fact...
Can you tell I've been traumatized by Kashtira?
And for that, I'm giving it a 5 in versatility, because every deck is playing this card. Because on top of everything that you just said, of course the fact that it is a warrior monster for searchability, and is a tuner, means that it serves not just the ability to Goddess of Sweet Revenge your opponent out of the game, it's also an extender for funny reasons. So 5 on versatility, easy pick for any deck. These other cards could be as specific to their attributes as it gets, but this card by itself raises the average so high, it has to be a perfect score on that one.
I'm so proud.
I'm also giving it a 5 because holy cow, the boldness of the design here, the commissioned card art, which looks fantastic. I'm still pogging over Dark Bondroid. These are some pretty savage cards, I must say. So this whole flock is getting a 14 total on the Nova scale. Fantastic group of cards.
Yep. Like I said, feel free to reach out to my friend on Instagram. She's always willing to take commission. She works well. She gets everything. Just ask her questions, or she'll ask you questions, and she gives you this awesomeness.
I think I might. These are great. Oh my gosh. Folks, it's pinned. If you need card art, I have pinned that link. Go, enjoy.
Can you tweet it out on your Twitter also later?
Oh, yeah, remind me when we're done here, because I definitely want to share this. Holy cow.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much. Any last words before we move on to our next speaker?
Shoutouts to everyone who was helping me out in the custom arts chat. I appreciate all of you, and I'm learning more about custom cards, or PC problem-solving card text every day. Thanks, guys. And thank you, Nova.
Oh, thank you for all of the support. It means a lot. Take care, all right? I'll talk to you later, okay?
Yep, bye.
Bye! These cards are... I love these cards. They're so cool. They're so cool. Alrighty. I'm going to check my phone here really quickly. Okay, buzz bing. Alrighty, into this next one here. Now this one I definitely need to update the aspect ratio on here. Ba-da-ba-da. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Get that right there. And whoop, 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 whoop. Perfection. Alrighty. Well, 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 if it isn't Warthog Crusader, come to bless us with their presence with more custom cards. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I got my butt kicked in the tournament yesterday, but I'm fine.
Oh, which tournament?
2 tournaments.
Oh?
Just locals.
Ah. The battleground for all of us aspiring duelists. Well, I apologize that victory was not within your grasp, but perhaps some good-hearted joviality will await you today.
Hopefully. I was playing Abyss Actors, so I freaked out everyone.
Oh, yeah, that would do it. I don't know what effects are going to work for me or not with those cards on the board.
Had to ask a lot of rulings, but I wanted to tell you about a restriction I gave for myself for making these 4 cards.
Oh,
Maximum 3 effects.
Okay, so yeah, we can't go anywhere above 3. We're doing better than Valve, but not by much.
Yeah. And you should go extra and then main, and then if we still have time, I even gave myself a timer to see how much we had. I have some fun facts I want to share at the end.
Alrighty. Well, then, without further ado, let's get started with Steel Swarm Encore, a Link 1 Dark Fiend monster with 2,000 attack, requiring a tribute summon to Steel Swarm monster. Alright. Gain attack equal to the level of the Steel Swarm monster this card points to times 100. Once per turn, you can add an Infestation card from your deck to your hand. During either player's turn, as a quick effect, you can send a Steel Swarm monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then you can target a level 4 or lower Steel Swarm monster in your grave and special summon that target. Then after this effect resolves, you can immediately tribute summon a Steel Swarm monster. You can only use this effect of Encore once per turn. I think you just solved Steel Swarm.
Yes, but without the non-effort of normal Link ones of just, oh, you normal summon a monster, add a field spell, and boom, you got your engine going. No, you have to put some effort into this, because Encore is not meant to just be a supplementary piece. He is meant to be the finality of the opponent.
When this hits board, they ain't sticking around much longer.
Yeah, because if he points to like someone like Catastag or Hercules, he is over 3,000.
Big.
Mm-hmm. And now let's go on to that field spell he searches.
Alrighty. Infestation Feeding Ground. Field spell. Once per turn, you can add a level 4 or lower Steel Swarm monster and a level 5 or higher Steel Swarm monster from your deck to your hand. Then take 100 damage equal to the difference in those monsters' level. That's really funny. During your main phase, you can normal summon a Steel Swarm monster in addition to your normal summoner set. And all Steel Swarm monsters you control gain 100 attack equal to the combined levels of all Steel Swarm monsters on the field. I think you just solved Steel Swarm again.
Yeah. I wanted it to be absurd because it's like, this is a slow tribute deck. They don't have a lot. So what do? Give every single one of them a crap load of attack points that when they see the scout revive itself in the grave, they go, oh crap, I might die.
Well, and you know what? I think they will. So what was the impetus for making the damage based on the level difference? That was really creative.
Because I thought it would be funny, and it fits with a lot of the other Steel Swarm cards that inflict you damage for trying to get advantages, such as Ripples, Hercules, and what's the other one? And most of the Steel Swarms have effects that involve paying life points, so I kept true with that.
Hey, and that was a great idea. Very, very flavorful inclusion on that one.
Mm-hmm. And made it so you can't splash this in of just put in the low-level ones. No, if you want to search, you have to have a big and a small.
We are putting the teams together, folks. This is a team-building exercise. Eating the flesh of the innocent. Alrighty. And now it looks like we've completely switched gears. Vylon Stigmata, a level 6 light fairy monster with 2400 attack and 0 defense. To tribute summon this face-up card, you can tribute an equipped card you control instead of a monster. Oh, an equipped card?
I've copied the effect text and modified it a little from the True Dracos, because that's what it's supposed to be like. You contribute an equip card to summon it instead.
Oh, okay, okay. During your main phase, target as many cards as possible on the field that are equipped to monsters you control. After this effect resolves, you gain additional normal summon sets equal to how many cards were targeted by this effect. You can only use this effect once per turn, and once per turn, target one equipped card you control and move that card to an open spell or trap zone on your opponent's field. Huh. Now, that's not going to be relevant at all, right? That's a silly little effect, right?
Kinda, but it also has lore implications.
Alrighty. Then do we want to talk about those implications now, or do we want to go into the field spell?
Let's finish up with the last card.
Okay. Vylon Forgetress in the heavens. That's awesome.
It's Forge and Fortress.
Oh, Forgetress. I legit thought it was Forgetress because of like the whole their minds got scrambled. I'm so sorry.
No, it's alright, but that also works better.
Alright, Vylon Forgetress in the heavens. Field spell card. All Vylon monsters you control gain 200 attack and defense for every card that is equipped to a card you control. Once per turn as a quick effect, you can equip a Vylon card from your deck to one appropriate target on the field as if it was equipped by its own effect. You can only activate the following effect of this card once per turn. During your main phase, you can activate one of these effects. Select and reveal any number of Vylon monster cards on your field and or in your hand. Add Vylon equip spells from your deck and or your grave to your hand equal to the number of cards you selected. And select and reveal any number of Vylon equip spells in your hand and Vylon cards in your spell and trap zone. To add Vylon monsters from your deck to your hand equal to the number of cards selected. You cannot summon monsters from the extra deck when you activate either of these cards' effects except Vylon monsters. Sounds a little like Magical Musketeers Max in a way. You get to like reveal one kind of card to get the other half of your deck. That's pretty nifty.
Yeah. Because Vylons, with a little bit of playtesting, I realized, you either end up with a crap ton of equips or a crap ton of monsters, and you want a crap ton of both. So how do you supplement that? Get a field spell.
And bing bang boom. I also like how it gives the attack boost not just to what's equipped, it just counts how many cards are equipped, so that's a pretty good way to spread that around.
And, yep. And so if you look at Stigmata, when he throws something onto the opponent's field, you're still getting a boost from it.
Oh, because it's just Vylon monsters equipped to a card but it's still equipped to what you control. Alright, okay. Alright, you're being a little saucy with card design. I dig it, I dig it. Alrighty.
Yuri L. Arkham is asking if it makes the Omega Turbo better. No, I designed it that way, so it wouldn't do that.
Okay, then don't tell Red Eyes Jackalope, because that's all they're going to care about.
What else? Do you like the name of the Vylon monster?
Yeah, I can feel my hands aching just from seeing it.
The reason I have it as that name, down in the side deck, you'll see one of the Vylon monsters, and it's just putting TA at the end of his name.
Oh. I forgot what was it called? Stigma.
Yeah. And I thought it'd be funny, because I make these cards to show off on stream, and you are kind of, I forget the word, you are steeped in the lore of Brandon, that if I threw a little hint to it, you might have said something offhandedly.
I am still upset that they removed stigmata as the word for it. I wanted to make the Albaz archetype just as a big a way as possible to make everyone mad about like using the religious implications, and they quit out of it like cowards.
Yeah.
How dare they?
I'm learning that the OCG names are usually a lot better.
Let my Dragon Boy be a Jesus analogy already. Come on. Cowards, all of them. Okay, well, now that you have broken the door down between Dual Terminal and Albaz, completing the lore cycle, as it always should have been, are there any other interactions or anything you want to talk about for these ones before we move on to the Nova Scale?
Well, my implication was, it was just as a fun reference not to break down the door.
Oh, you underestimate my power.
Okay. Well, I'm wondering if the fun facts I want to share about these cards that involve this side deck should be said before the Nova Scale or after it.
Oh, right now. Educate me, please.
All right. So, infestation feeding ground is supposed to be where they're from, so it would have a lot of implications and showing how the steel swarms are made. From what I can tell by looking through a crap ton of art, steel swarms are just a heavily evolved version of fables because they got the same teeth, same structure, and same body masses for a lot of their generals compared to the fable generals. So I think there's a correlation there. But little trivia thing: take a look at the Synchro monster and look at its art and what Steel Swarm monster do you think he's facing down?
That looks like Caustic.
Good, because on the wiki, do you know who it says that is?
Oh, does it say it's Hercules?
Everything always points back to Hercules for no freaking reason.
I think it's because they like know that Hercules is Zealgigas, so they always like tie it back to him. But like, look at the horns, people.
Exactly.
These are different.
And so Encore, I want to make art for this, but I am not good at art. I want it to be Castag holding or like engulfed in fire, maybe like in a rocker pose, of just showing that he beat the lava monster and he is the last one standing.
Oh, okay. All right, that's pretty metal. I dig.
All right, and that is the last fun fact thing I think I need to mention.
Alrighty, well then let me go ahead and break out some numbers here, and we'll see how this stacks up. Okay, so, novelty. I'm already thinking of 4 right now, because of course they're based on our previously talked about archetypes. I do like the ways that this goes about fixing things. We're using previously established mechanics that fit really well here. Giving extra normal summons to the tribute summoning deck seems like a natural fit. Seems weird they haven't done that yet. And giving Violons more of an ability to line up their cards together is going to be pretty good in solving a lot of their bricky issues. I think we can go with a 4 on this one. I think we can go 4 on these. Mostly on top of the fact that I like how some of these mechanics are being used, Vylon and Steel Swarms don't get a lot of love. If anything, you only get Ill Swarm cards, but, that's just cheating.
It is. Because you don't get the Steel Swarm effects if you tribute Caster, now do you?
No. That's an Evil Swarm. And a filthy Constellar at that.
Yeah.
Stupid light people. Always putting light bulbs on things. Anyway, objectivity. I believe the problem-solving card text was all pretty clean. Nothing jumped out at me as like being incorrectly formatted. Power level-wise, I'm impressed at the power of these cards. I don't know if we're busting open the format with any of these, though. The ability to quick summon something like Cacastig is funky. Hercules busting a field open at what is effectively quick effect speed is very powerful. Our setup, though, is very specific.
Hercules won't be able to use his effect if he's quick summoned on the opponent's turn, because his effect is still a regular sorcery speed. So
it's like a once per turn, not a win summoned effect. Ugh. Okay, well that just makes the argument even better. It's a 5 in objectivity. Our power level is fine on these ones. The Vylons are cool too, but like you said, it was made specifically to stop like weird turbo lines. So I think it's fine. Versatility. Will these see play in a variety of archetypes? Well, no. They play in their own archetypes. Unless I'm missing anything at all, these are very specifically for Vylons and or Steel Swarms.
Good. Because I learned something about the Nova Scale and my wants of... I wanted a perfect score, a perfect 2020. But I've realized something. I don't want that. I just want a mere 16. A 5 in everything but versatility. I make something so it sticks with its own thing.
Well, I'm very sorry that we are going to be just shy of that number. But I will give you a 5 in awesomeness because I do like how this is coming about. I do like the methods that we're using to get them out here. And that they have, the flavor has been maintained on these ones, which I feel is very important to me, especially for these lore cards. Making sure that we're staying in line with the original vision. So, this time around, a 15 for you. A 15 on the Nova scale.
Yay! And also, I wanted to point out something else that I remembered. I think it's next month. Both archetypes will be on a decade-long no support given, except for Steel Swarms with their one-link monster.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, these two archetypes do not get love.
Oh, yeah, wait, the next month one or these ones?
This month, I'm saying this month,
Oh, okay.
timeline-wise, if it goes to next month, it will have been officially 10 years.
Oh. Wow. And yet they're still making support for Dark Magician. Come on, buddy. Come on. You've had your time.
Yeah.
Make some room.
Now, there's a final thing I did want to ask you. It kind of relates to the next time I show up.
Yeah.
If there is a next time. Because I make these cards to specifically throw in stream. I have a bunch of ideas rolling around my head, but because of these streams, I actually make them and figure out the card text. I have run into a mild issue with my next one of I want to make a lore around it. But I'm stuck between how the lore should go. Can I tell it to you and you decide?
Yeah, DM me the info. I'll see what I can do.
Well, I also wanted to speak it. So
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, sure.
It's on record. I find it easier to talk, and for a little bit of mystique.
Go on.
So it's an archetype based in space, kind of around the Fantastic Four, in a sense. And the thing I'm having issues with is it's either a crew of 3 or 4. There is a traitor in both stories. The difference is the traitor for the crew of 4 just someone else, and there isn't really a card made for them. They get their own archetype later. Or is it a crew of 3 and one of them turns on them, and you watch a character potentially change from good to evil?
Crew of 3 that eventually transforms. Would they still get their own archetype in that case?
Yes, I will say the archetype names now because I can't come up with anything better, so I'm stealing from my twin because they came up with really good space names.
Uh-huh.
Of the primary archetype is known as the Burning Engine.
Burning Engines.
And the other archetype where the evil one is from is called the Thunder Guard.
Thunder Guard. Oh, okay. So here's what you do, right? So whatever the names of the other ones are, but we have Burning Engine in there. The traitor guy, their name is Thunder Guard of the Burning Engine. And then when you introduce them to their new evil like archetype, they're already name dropped as that.
Well, that is a good idea, though unfortunately it wouldn't work with the type of support cards. Because,
Damn it!
It's not going to be locked into archetype, it's going to be locked into type, where Burning Engine are going to be a Pyro Ritual archetype, and Thunder Guard is going to be a Thunder Ritual archetype.
Oh, sick. That slaps. All right, well, I look forward to seeing this creation. Did you have any other questions? Was there anything else I could help out with? I forget if I missed it with anything.
No, that's it. Crew
Okay.
of 3 with 1 as a trader.
Cool.
And I'll be making custom 3D artwork for all of this, hopefully.
Oh, all right. Oh, I'm vibrating. Uh-oh. I'm
Like,
excited.
You can see my work in the art channel. Gate Guardian is what I've been posting in there.
I'm too curious not to look right now. Sorry, folks. We're going on an adventure here. Da-da-da-da.
Is there a way to tag... can I copy the link of what I sent in?
Not in Twitch chat, because I have a lot of that locked
Well, I meant
out.
just copy it and send it to you over Discord.
Yeah, I think that would work.
Wait. I'm a fool. I just realized I'm on PC. I can just send the file. I'm so used to being on my phone. which
Oh, there we go.
doesn't have-
Okay, I found one.
You found one, but did you find the one I'm talking about?
I don't think so, but I do see Suijin and Kazugen just kind of hanging out.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Oh, okay, cool. Here, let me show it off. Can I show it off to everyone real quick?
Go for it. I sent it on the Discord, which means it's all right to show off.
You know what? That is totally fair. Oh no, the Discord wasn't attached to the scene yet. No. Discord, come on. There we go. Folks, look at this perfect bean.
It just wants to give a dramatic reveal.
Hello. It is us, the Guardian Gates. I like him. I like the style on this one.
Yeah, somehow the most difficult part for both of them was making their faces.
I mean, faces are the gateway to the soul. There's a lot of important stuff there you have to get right so that it comes out as a face.
Yep.
I like the angularity. It feels very like papercraft.
Yeah. I still got to make Sangha, and then I will be making the Burning Engine.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for sharing.
And thank you for having me on here.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of the stream, people.
And enjoy your night. Goodbye. Woo. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and get this updated. Nova, what Pokemon type are you? I'm Steel, baby. I'm a Steel type. Like my good friend, Metagross. If I get to pick a second type, it is also Psychic, like my good friend Metagross. Gotta bounce for now. I'll be back in like half an hour if you're still going. We'll see. We will see. We have 2 people left, so who knows. Alrighty, get these pulled up here. Get back to the voice chatty thing where people chat with voices. Nope, that was incorrect. There we go. Okay. Alrighty, it looks like next we have Corbinisms. Long time friend of the channel, supporter of the channel, Corbinisms, coming in with some funky-looking legacy support. I can't wait to see how this all comes together. Corbin, how you doing?
I am literally here now, right now, in this moment.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. If you were not in this moment, I'd have to do some kind of like 999 level dimension hopping to find you. And I don't have the energy for that right now.
Hold on. You can't just pull 999 out of nowhere. First of all, how dare you? Second of all, congratulations.
Look, I think Uchikoshi would want me to pull these random plot points out of nowhere. It's how he would have wanted it.
Part of it. It's just how it works, man.
Anyway, so it looks like you have chosen one of the archetypes of all times to make legacy support for. I am super stoked. What do you have for us today?
I have been watching way too much of the Yu-Gi-Oh anime recently. And I remembered Iron Chains exist and are bad.
Just the worst.
They're so awful.
Oh
they
my-
don't even do what they're supposed to do.
That is so funny because I remember when those cards first came out, everyone and their mom was like, "Hey, at least Iron Chain Dragon is good," and they lied through their teeth.
Like, Iron Train Dragon is bad because the rest of the archetype is bad, because you have to have them in your grave to banish, which makes no sense. I hate it. So anyways, earlier today I made a better Iron Chain Dragon, Neo Iron Chain Dragon. Put that in the Discord. I didn't want to bring it here because you said try to keep it to 5, so I did. This is most of what I made prior to that announcement. There are a couple cards that got cut that would probably be good. There was like a level 5 synchro that could act as a tuner if you needed it to, and used only Iron Chains, and there was like a couple of spell cards that did a little bit of milling just to kind of get you started. But this is the bread and butter that I wanted to show off.
Sick nasty. Alright, well, we'll start things off with Iron Chain Viper, a level 1 Earth Reptile Tuner monster with 1,000 attack and 500 defense. If you control a Synchro monster, or all monsters you control are Iron Chain monsters, minimum 1, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn, and if you use this card as Synchro material for the summon of an Iron Chain Synchro monster, your opponent sends cards from the top of their deck to the graveyard equal to that monster's level. Okay, so that's a way to start things off.
Yeah, it's very versatile, especially when you think, oh, the way I was designing this was, you're going to kind of be able to ladder and jump levels a little bit in your synchro summons. So just having a level 1 that can special itself if you control an in-archetype monster, or if you control a synchro monster, and then being able to synchro summon and get a little bit of mill off is handy. It's just exactly what you want to be doing at all times.
Mm-hmm. And I don't
It's
see a restriction on here for what you can make with it. So, but you can just branch out into any kind of synchro you want.
Yeah, and that helps with just the overall playability of the deck. You don't have to stay in Iron Chains. It's better if you do, and obviously this can be teched into just about anything, but it's obviously the best if you're keeping it in deck. So I kind of wanted a little bit of versatility, but optimal, you want it in the deck.
That makes sense. That was a good idea. Alrighty, next up is Iron Chain Soldier, level 3 Earth Warrior Tuner monster with 1000 attack, 500 defense. If you control a non-tuner Iron Chain monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then your opponent sends cards from the top of their deck to the grave, equal to the difference in cards in your hand and your opponent's hand. So if you have 1, they have 3, they mill 2, right?
Correct.
Okay. If this card is used as synchro material for the synchro summon of an Iron Chain synchro monster, your opponent sends cards from the top of their deck to the graveyard equal to the level of the summoned monster. Okay, so just like Viper, another great way to start churning cards off the top of their deck.
Yep.
Okay, sick.
It's really that easy.
It's just... Well, that was easy. Monkey! Boy!
Little guy. By the way, the 2 synchros and Viper are actual pieces of jewelry you can purchase if you like them.
Which you can find at these fine locations.
Yeah, did send you those locations, so I wasn't sure how to add them to the thing. So if you want them, they're there. Go look.
Yeah. You can have a little guy.
Yeah, you can have little fellers.
Yeah, little fella. It's little brother. Little brother out here doing it on his own. All right, Iron Chain Orangutan, level 4, Earth Beast monster. Wait a sec, is that Orange Rose 2004? Thank you so much for following here on the Orbital platform. You're just in time for Orangutan. There we go. That's a segue. If you synchro summon an Iron Chain monster, this card in your hand can also be used as material. If your opponent has 10 or more cards in their graveyard, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. And it doesn't banish itself.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty spicy.
But you can only use them once per turn.
Oh yeah, once per turn. So we're not doing some infinite combos, but hey, pretty great bonus.
It's a handy little guy. You can get some extra stuff later if you need to, but you're gonna have to wait turns in order to make it happen.
Yeah.
Also, small sub theme that I was building into this wave of support, the 5, 10, 15, 20 barriers for cards. The harder you mill, the more high-scaled effects you will be able to get.
Okay, all right. That's good, actually. That feels like something that they like, I never thought of that until just now. But now that you say that, that feels like something they should have.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you can do an extra thing, or it works better if you hit these barriers, which is like just good card design.
Seems like it. Inner Crescent, greetings! How you doing today?
Hello.
Alright, next up is Iron Chain Hydra. Level 7 Earth Dragon Synchro Monster with 3000 attack and 1300 defense, requiring a tuner monster and 1 or more non-tuner Earth monsters. If this card is synchro summoned using only Iron Chain monsters, your opponent sends the top 5 cards of their deck to the graveyard. Then if your opponent has 15 or more cards in their graveyard, you draw a card. If your opponent special summons a monster, they send the top 2 cards of their deck to the graveyard. The effects of cards sent to the graveyard by this effect cannot be activated the turn they are sent to the graveyard. I was waiting for you to add something like that there. I was waiting for that, and I'm glad you did that. Holy cow.
I also added that to Neo Iron Chain Dragon because, come on, they need it.
Yeah,
With
like...
It's been 10 years. With all the graveyard effects, you have to have something if you're going to be milling the opponent purposefully.
Just something. Like, I don't know if you've done this with anything, but I'm like, we gotta get like a field spell or a continuous spell that's like, if a card is sent to the graveyard by the effect of an Iron Chain card, your opponent can't activate cards with that name for the rest of the turn, or something like that. Just something.
I'm contemplating something around that area.
God.
I wasn't quite sure how to word it and make it work, so. But yes, that was in the brain.
Yeah, good. And you're a smart cookie. You know that? I don't tell you that enough. You're a smart cookie.
I think you're a pretty smart cookie too.
Thank
Oh
you.
my god.
Wow. Yeah, great card. And that mill on special summon is not once per turn, so it's like
Nope.
mill tax dragon. I dig.
Yeah, I really didn't want to put hard ones per turns because if I was going to be bringing this and I could only bring so many cards, let's just go for it.
Just get it out there. All right, and our fifth one is Iron Chain Ouroboros, level 8 Earth Dragon Synchro Monster, 3,500 attack, 1,300 defense, requiring an Iron Chain tuner and one or more non-tuner monsters as material. If this card is synchro summoned using only Iron Chain monsters, your opponent sends cards from the top of their deck to the grave equal to the total level of non-tuner synchro material used for its synchro summon. If your opponent has 20 or more cards in their graveyard, they cannot banish cards from the graveyard, activate the effects of cards in their graveyard, or target cards in the graveyard with card effects.
Tell me if you've heard this one anywhere.
It feels a little bit like Necro Valley.
Just a bit.
Just a smidge. And you were reading my mind. This does do exactly that. It keeps those effects on lockdown. They can't mess with them. Very good payoff for your mill deck to ensure that you don't shoot yourself in the foot by, like chat was saying, enabling every tier limit player under the sun.
No, I don't like them.
Stop
Go
it.
away.
Cease. So, like,
Imagine if like this kind of stuff gets released and Iron Chain goes from barely anyone remembers this crap anime archetype to, oh yeah, it beats the most recent tier 0 deck outright.
I will quit the game if that happens. I will become a Legends of Runeterra streamer.
Woo! It's working. It's working.
Finally. My devious plan is coming to fruition. Okay, real quick. I'm gonna head over to the custom card chat real quick. I want to see what this new
Oh yeah, it's up just a little ways, but it's there.
Boom.
I did not put the restrictions because I was in a fever haze of card design.
Okay, sounds good. I will not hold that against you. Okay, Neo Iron Chain. All the same stats. If this synchro summoned using at least one Iron Chain non-tuner, your opponent sends cards to the top of their deck to their graveyard equal to the number of Iron Chain monsters in your graveyard. Cards sent to the grave this way cannot activate their effects this turn. During your standby phase, deal damage to your opponent equal to the number of cards in their graveyard times 200. That's pretty savage. So
Yeah,
now we're
it's like
milling
what if-
and we're dealing burn damage.
Yeah, because it was originally a mill and burn archetype.
Got to attack them on two different fronts. It's the psychological element that'll get them.
Yeah, it's literally just throw them off balance, make it weird for them. What do they have to do to win? Do they have to get more life? Do they have to get cards back in the deck? Yes. The answer is yes.
Alrighty, well, I think these are fantastic. Are there any interactions that I haven't looked over that you want to highlight for the audience?
So, to highlight that I did some very rough math and sequencing, and if you use all 5 of these cards in conjunction, you can mill for 24 in a turn.
Now, most decks are only 40.
Uh-huh.
Okay, good to know. Glad we're on the same page about that.
What part of the plan?
So I'm trying to think here. So you use Orangutan and Viper. Or no, use Orangutan and Viper to make Hydra. No. Knight and Orangutan make Viper. Make Hydra.
Okay, here's the combo. I'll just go for it.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, walk me through it.
So the idea is you would normal Orangutan, or if you really needed to, you could do Repairman, the older card. Then special Iron Chain Soldier, targeting Orangutan, mill 4. Special Iron Chain Viper. Soldier and Orangutan make Hydra. You mill 5 off the jump from Hydra, so you get to 9. But the clincher is Viper and Hydra into Ouroboros, because then you're milling equal to the 7 for Hydra, as well as Viper's total level of the Synchro summoned. So you mill 15. 7 plus 8.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So you're at 24.
All right, well, that's fantastic. All right, well, I think I'm ready to Nova scale. How about you?
I'm as ready as you are. I don't control this. I'm here for the ride.
Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and start with novelty. Look, I know Iron Chain is an existing archetype, and I normally knock a point off for that one.
No, it isn't.
This is Iron. I don't know what even I was saying. I've never seen these cards before. 5 easily. This is great, and it's new stuff. And no deck is doing milling nowadays to the graveyard.
You can say 4. I won't be mad if you give me a 4.
No, like literally, they've never made any new piece of Iron Chain support. No one has thought of these cards. There are people who play Yu-Gi-Oh! Who weren't even born when this archetype was made, and they've made no effort.
Right.
They've made no effort to remind people of it, okay? It is that obscure. I'm giving it a 5 for that.
Okay. Just put down the gun.
I'll put it down when we're finished.
There's actually like 7 Iron Chain cards, and none of them are good.
No. I can't wait to play Paralyzing Chain. That's my favorite.
Oh, what is your level 3 tuner do? Actually, Repairman is okay because it gets you back a level 3 or lower.
Yeah, he's like the only good one.
Yeah.
But like you use like Coil and you lose your entire battle phase for like what, 2 mils?
That's not very good.
It's not doing very much. Anyway, objectivity. So we've figured out how to make milling directly to the graveyard not quite as bad as it used to be by including our higher leveled synchro monsters as effects. That being said, the synchro monsters themselves don't have a lot of protection, and you still have to mill cards to their graveyard before you even get to those cards. So it's not busted. It's just a good counterplay.
It's meant to allow counterplay up to a point.
Yeah. As far as problem-solving card text goes, I don't think I saw anything bad. You did some tricky things like the orangutan hand material, but it was worded correctly. So I think
I literally lifted that off Revolution Synchron.
Oh, well then, yeah. So there you go. You're good.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to admit it.
Don't be afraid. Good artists steal. Just steal it right off the card. Okay, versatility. This is like a 1, right? Ain't no other deck playing these cards.
Maybe a 2. Like if you want to be generous, a 2, but no.
What other decks or cards are we playing these with?
To be fair, level 1 tuner.
Uh-huh.
That mills for the sync. Wait, do I remember my own card right?
It does mill, but only if you make an Iron Chain with
an
it.
Iron Chain.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you could still like tech Neo Iron Chain.
It is a level 1 reptile.
You might could, but like a 2 is super generous. Just give me a 1.
Yeah, you're getting a 1. We're getting a 1. Nice try, buddy. I know you wanted it, but you're getting a 1. Anyway, awesomeness.
Talk me through your logic here. What are we doing?
Okay, so obviously it is very funny to see Iron Chains being revived from their ancient prison. They're really terrible. And I think you've done a good job putting them together. I think it's very thematically cohesive with how you put them together. It is an archetype used by a cop, though. A warden at that. That's like a super cop. So I'm a little... You know what? For time served, I'll give you a 5. These are really cool. I love them.
Get out of my sight. I come here with the coolest thing you've seen in the last 10 minutes, and this is what I get.
Yeah, 16. Hope you enjoy it.
This is pretty good. It's pretty.
Yeah, good. It's good. Yeah. It's no Potemkin, but I'll take it.
It's not Potemkin. I have to really, really get in the tank.
It ain't no launcher spider, but it'll do.
Yeah, gotta come with something original next month.
No, but these were really cool. Thank you for sharing these. I liked seeing the idea and how you were able to try and fit in one of Yu-Gi-Oh's terrible archetypes into something that's, you know, playable. So good job.
Yeah, God only knows what I'm doing next. Actually, I have an idea. Like, I have so many Google Docs.
How many Google Docs?
At least 2.
Wow.
Potentially 3.
No way. Drive lets you
Alright.
hold that many?
Yeah, I know, right?
Good grief.
Jesus.
Just giving away service at this point.
But yeah, I have some ideas I've been tossing around. We'll see what happens next month.
All right. Well, I look forward to it. Corbin, thank you so much for showing us your cards and helping in general with everything that's going on here. And I hope you have a wonderful day, all right?
Don't be hyperbolic in the Discord. I will smack you.
Yeah, folks. Trying to have a good time on the orbital platform, and people are opening and closing all kinds of airlocks on there. What do you think? Oxygen grows on trees?
Definitely not the synthetic ones we have.
Mm-mm-mm. Those things are made of plastic.
Yeah, just believe in the ficus. It will definitely help you survive in space.
Believe in the ficus is going on a t-shirt. Oxygen does come from trees. Yeah, but it doesn't grow on trees. It gets breathed out of trees. There's a difference. It's not fruit. Come on, folks. Jeez. Trying to teach you people some stuff. Not if you're paying attention. Alrighty. Last up, we've got some stuff from Z-Man. Also, going by Iskander711. Let's go ahead and make sure that this is formatted correctly. They fart out air. See, Iron Crescent gets it. Every day, you need to thank all those trees out there and all those plants that you get to huff their farts every day for your survival. Come on. Jeez, people. Why do I even do this? Why do I even do this? You're not going to understand. I'm going to get into your thick skulls. All right. So anyway, here is Court of the Azure King, I believe was the name here. Let me go ahead and double check to make sure I've got all the information that I need here. Okay, here we go. It's 7:43. Okay. So, this archetype was made to bring Yu-Gi-Oh! Back to the battle phase, and I've made it something that I'm actually scared of. Speaking of which, we've got Timmy, Sapper of the Azure Court. The elder brother, he was recruited after he and his brother were caught breaking into my court with nary a guard alerted nor trap sprung. Besides 2 young boys with their skulls, I couldn't bear the idea of bringing any more harm to them than life already did. Also, don't worry about the eye patches, they just think that they're cool. I didn't take their eyes, I swear. Written by Arthur Noble. The elder brother, he was recruited after he and his brother were caught breaking into my... Oh, no, that's... Oh, okay, there's a... I can just read this and not the cursive thing. I'm good at this. All right. Timmy's Pendulum Effect. If this card is anywhere on the field, your opponent cannot activate cards set face down in the spell and trap zone. This card can be used to special summon a water and or warrior monster from the extra deck from the Pendulum Zone. As a monster effect, if this card is anywhere on the field, monsters you control gain attack and defense. Times this card's... Ooh, I don't know if this is fully baked. Because if the Pendulum Effect activates with anywhere on the field, I would assume that means if it's even like a monster or a spell or a trap card, but like then it wouldn't have its Pendulum Effect. And is that like supposed to like represent like it's limited to only summoning water and or warrior monsters? Okay. Let's look at Tommy, Saboteur of the Azure Court. The younger brother of the Sable Twins, he has a potential that may surpass his brother, but he's far too reckless for his own good. Fortunately, his brother has his good in mind. Okay, Pendulum Effect. If this card is anywhere on the field, your opponent can't activate cards whose effects are negated when they are discarded or banished from the hand. Has the restriction, I assume, as the last one. As a monster, if this card is anywhere on the field, monsters you control gain attack and defense times this card's level. Okay, so this would be level. So they both gain a 300. They'll both gift a 300 attack and defense boost. Okay, all right, that makes a bit more sense. Let me double check to see what their requested cards were, just to make sure that I'm hitting on all the classics here. All the classics. Okay, Tim, tell me. Arthur Noble. Yeah, okay, got it. Okay, here's the Link monster that they've got. Arthur Noble, the King of the Azure Court. He is constantly working to take control of Port Regal's juvenile underworld and dreams of taking his gang to the sea, building the largest pirate fleet the world has ever seen. Beneath his blue mask lies a jackal smile. Ooh. Now, yes, I am the master of the Azure Court, but I am no means its strongest member. That honor goes to... which we'll talk about in a second. Arthur Noble, King of the Azure Court, is a Link 2 Water Warrior monster with a 1900 attack, requiring any 2 monsters, including a Water or Warrior monster. When this card is Link summoned to the field, special summon from the graveyard up to 2 Water or Warrior monsters to open monster zones you control that this card points to. When this card is on the field, your opponent cannot activate effects that would destroy your monsters, and monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense times this monster's Link rating. So it's 1,000 boost just off the base. That's pretty funky. It even includes itself, so this is actually a 2,900 point monster off of Link 2. Outrageous. Alright, next is Yanis, Rook of the Azure Court. Yanis is my greatest warrior and my personal bodyguard. Once a slave belonging to the house of the governor, after gaining his freedom, he joined my ranks and rose through them at a breakneck pace. He was proven to be a trusted ally and dear friend. Though his title is Rook for a straightforward way to battle and victory, if I were to title after chess, he would probably be called my queen. But don't take that the wrong way. But, you know, he is going to beat all of you up like a queen. So, you know, there's that. Yanis takes 3+ monsters, including a Water or Warrior monster. When this monster is Link summoned, special summon up to 3 Water or Warrior monsters from your grave to open monster zones you control that this card points to. While this monster is on the field, monsters your opponent controls cannot target monsters you control for attacks except this one. Monsters your opponent controls that this card points to lose 500 attack and defense times this monster's Link rating, and monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense times this monster's Link rating. Oh gosh, you can revive Arthur Noble with this, right? Yeah, it doesn't summon the monster in the defense position, so you could use Arthur Noble, summon 2 monsters, which, you know, even if we're on theme, presumably it's at least the, I guess they would be linked to the Pendulum Zones. Well, they'd be facing in the extra deck, but we have 2 other ones here we haven't touched yet, so we could like summon back these ones. And unless they have effects that keep us from doing so, we can just link one into one of them and Arthur Noble into Yanis. Yanis will resummon Arthur Noble and 2 other monsters, including one of the Link materials. And now you have a... Oh, they're Link 4. They're Link 4. In which case, we just do 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the things that we summon out with Arthur Noble. So, yeah, no, it just makes itself. So it's a 4 Link rating monster. That's 2,000 plus. So everything is a 3,000 point boost if you have both Arthur Noble and Yanis on board. Holy Pachowskis. Okay, and the last one they wanted to make sure that we saw was the Court of the Azure King. Continuous spell card. What is a king without his court? My base of operations, a formerly abandoned building upon the docks, and has been turned into my personal castle. This card can only be played if Port Regalia is on the field, which, for those of you who don't remember, last month they introduced an archetype around the field spell, Port Regalia. This card is always treated as an Azure Court card. While this card is on the field, your opponent cannot activate effects that negate summoning or would remove this card from the field. And during the draw phase, instead of drawing, you can add an Azure Court card from your deck to your hand. Okay. Post-work errata. The attack and defense boost they all have, which I will refer to as the Azure Rally, should now read as when there is another warrior or water monster on field, other warrior or water monster control gain attack and defense equal to 100, 300, 500 this monster's level. Link. Also, okay, so this sounds like it'll be less powerful with this post-work errata. Should probably be applied in the document at some point just to make sure that that's clear on a first reading. But I'm not sure. It's probably working its way up. Like, one of them gives 100, one of them gives 300, one gives 500. Okay. All right. I think we have some extra time. Let's go ahead and take care of these other cards. Willem, the Byblow of the Azure Court. Willem is my chief strategist, and as commented by my many opponents and even some of my lieutenants, a complete pain in the ass. His arrogance and demeanor has led a lot of people to distrust and loathe me, but his arrogance is undoubtedly earned. When this card is on the field, it is a level 4 Water Warrior monster with 1500 attack and defense. When this card is on your field or in your graveyard, your opponent can't activate cards that would let them add cards to their hand. While this card is on the field, monsters you control gain 300 attack and defense times this monster's level, and you can discard this card to add an Azure Court card from your deck to your hand. Ridiculously powerful. Next is Leon, the Crimson Beast of the Azure Court. My former rival turned fierce lieutenant, rendered mute due to the injuries sustained in battle. His silence makes him an even greater predator to be set upon prey. No, the scarf was meant to cover up the neck where he got his injury. Oh, okay. Leon is a level 4 Water Warrior monster with 1800 attack and defense. While this card is on the field, your opponent can't activate effects that are activated during the damage step. Also, monsters you control gain 300 attack and defense times this monster's level. You can summon one more water or warrior monster along with your normal summon. Okay. So, these are, if I'm understanding this correctly, particularly powerful creatures. Absurdly so. Warrior is one of the most supported types in the game, and water, while itself not super well supported, isn't without its good splashable cards, but honestly, the fact that they're warriors just makes them pretty good on their own. I think we've seen enough. These are all the cards we have. Let's go ahead and crack open the Nova Scale. All right, so novelty. Have we seen things like this before? I'm not going to lie. Warrior Link spam is something that we've seen before. This feels very much like a very power-crept Goki. Not only are you getting Link monsters that get you a ton of attack value and get you a lot of recursion, you have things like Willem that you can discard to search a card, and then locks your opponent out of search effects when you do that. So I think our novelty rating here is going to be like a like a 2. We're not seeing anything here that's particularly... I guess the whole idea of making sure an effect that activates anywhere on the field is new, technically, but not exactly everywhere else are we breaking new ground. Thank you very much, new followers, PJ Phoenix and Some Asian Dude 69. Thank you so much for following here while we wrap up our custom card week. Next up, objectivity. Are these cards balanced? Is their problem-solving card text on point? Now, this one I have to give a low score. It's got to get a 1. One part of this is the problem-solving card text. There's a lot of missing phrases in here. I know that they added this post-errata thing down here, but they really should have added it to the cards themselves. And there's some other things that I just don't think work out. Like, anywhere on the field is not a term that's used right now, but I can't imagine it would work out the way it's talked here, especially on pendulum cards. So there's that. But also objectivity tracks how powerful these cards are and if they're like broken or something. And these cards are incredibly broken. Like I said previously, Willem, you discard it, and while it's in the grave is Thunder Dragon Colossus. Arthur Noble links up very easily using any 2 materials, including a water, which isn't very big, and a warrior, which is just a gimme. It summons back 2 monsters. You link all those together back into Yanis, and then Yanis summons all those material back and provides an enormous attack boost. When Z-Man said that they were scared about this archetype's capabilities, I agree, because you can OTK out of nowhere with these cards. That has to get a 1 on that one. Versatility. Will these cards see play in a lot of decks? Well, this is one of those things where objectivity is low, but versatility is high. I think every deck would want the opportunity to play Willem just to lock your opponent out of searching for the low cost of cycling for another one of these cards, especially because you could potentially make the Arthur Noble into Yanis line, and because you don't have to use water, it just requires warriors or waters. You could play this in any warrior spam deck, i.e. Goki and or Infernoble Knights, and the absolute hilarity of running these water warriors and Infernoble is something I cannot pass up. So this is getting a 5. Now, awesomeness, I do like the fact that the models are made in like in Hero Forge. I think that was a really clever way to get card art onto these. I think it was really cool. That being said, the direction of the theme, I'm not catching on here. Maybe I'm forgetting something. Maybe there's something about the Port Royale cards that would change my mind on this one. But between the problem-solving card text not being quite tuned up, and just the ballistic power level of these cards, I'm actually not really feeling a huge, like, fire in my belly when I read these cards. I think there's some neat aspects to it, but I am going to give it a 2 in awesomeness. I'm not super sold on these ones. That will give the Court of the Azure King a 10 on the Nova scale. Maybe double-checking the problem-solving card text, giving the effects a bit of a once-over will help with some of these scores. But that is what we are giving it for now. And that about does it for this month. That was the last submission that we had. Folks, thank you all so much for joining in. If you haven't seen this, this was day 4 of the custom card review stream. Absolutely fantastic submissions this month around. Holy cow. We saw Iron Chains, we saw Metallizing Parasites. I'm floored. I'm absolutely floored. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Let me go ahead and link the VOD channel that you'll be able to find these at. Golden Novods is what it's called. A very clever name. I'm a very funny boy. I'm a very funny man, I've been told. You can go find, once they're uploaded, you can find the custom card streams at this location. Should be going up over the next few days. If you would like to see my usual content, you can follow the links provided down below. It's got the Discord where we hang out. If you also like custom cards, you don't have to do anything special to share them. Just go to the Discord. We've got a channel for it. You can talk with your fellow Discord mates, maybe bounce some ideas off of them, fine-tune some elements of it if you're looking for critique, all that good stuff. Let's see here. We also have the Twitter, where I'm going to be at for the foreseeable future until X implodes on itself. I've also got a Blue Sky page. I really need to start getting that added into this whole socials thing. You can find me there as well. And, of course, you can find me on Patreon. If you join in at $5 or higher, you can join in on next month's custom card reviews, which we'll be doing at the end of August. And you can also get all my videos early. Yesterday was Charmer Explained. The day before that was Guard Dragon Explained. If you want to get that before anyone else, joining at $5 or higher does get you access to that. And if you join at $10 or higher, there's going to be a poll coming up in just a few days where you can pitch in a vote to tell me what deck I play. And it's going to be all new choices. If you've seen the polls previously, one of the issues is that some cards would be stuck on there for months at a time and not get touched. Well, we're going to do 4 fresh options this month, and we're going to keep doing fresh options, so do not delay. Inner Crescent, have a good day, Nova. Hey, and you as well, Inner Crescent. I hope you have an excellent day. You should mention it exists at the end of your video reads. I don't think most people are aware of it. The Blue Sky thing? I think that's a good idea. I think that about does it for me. I've done all of my shilling. Thank you all so much for sticking with me. Oh, the VOD channel. Makes sense, makes sense. Yeah, thank you all so much for sticking with me. I appreciate you listening to my big old spiel. And now it is time to send all of you to a different zone. A different streamer. A different streamer. Let's see, who do we got going on here today? Moai is showing off his new chibi model. We could go check out that. It's very cute. What's going on here? Inner Crescent, thank you so much for subscribing at Tier 1 for 6 months. I super appreciate it for sending it to the road. the Twilight Zone. Imagine, if you will, people trapped on a website, talking incessantly. Oh, you know we haven't rated in a while? We haven't rated Lily. Lily Koizumi is playing Tag Force 5. And they're wondering if they're playing Black Wings. Maybe y'all can help with that situation. Let's go ahead and get it set up for there. Y'all can have fun with some of that. All right, as always, thank you all so much for stopping by. Please, I hope you can take some of the energy and fun that was cultivated in today's stream and pass it on to the next person that you watch or helps you out the rest of your day. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see all of you next time. Bye-bye.